show today. So I get to read it. I am the living water for those who thirst for truth. John 4:4-26. Now he, Jesus, had to go through Samaria. So he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of ground Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired as he was from the journey, sat down by the well. It was about noon when a Samaritan woman came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Will you give me some water to drink?" His disciples had gone into the town to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" For the Jews did not associate with the Samaritans. Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is who asks you for water, for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us this well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and his flocks and herds?" Jesus answered, Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. But those who drink the water I give them will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give them will be in them in a living spring of water, welling up to eternal life. The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." He told her, "Go, call your husband and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man that you have is not your husband. What you have said is quite true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place to worship is in Jerusalem." "Woman," Jesus replied, "believe me, the time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming and has come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in spirit and in truth." The woman said, "I know that the Messiah, called the Christ, is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Jesus said, "I declare that I am the one speaking to you. I am he." Okay, I have to give a little trigger warning here before we start. In the sermon, I mentioned someone unaliving themselves. So if that causes you to have any kind of feelings, please see one of our ushers, or you feel free to leave. But we don't want you to leave and feel triggered. We want to be able to talk to you and help you through any situation that you're going through. So there's that warning. I always forget to do that when I talk, so I wanted to get that out there. So we were talking earlier today, and I was talking about how things change. If you aren't familiar, I went to Germany for 10 years. I was in the military. I got stationed in Germany in 2001, and moved over there in August And August 2001, you know what's coming, right? Yeah, September. So I was over there, and everything happened. So I'm only supposed to be over there for 3 years, but because of that, everybody kind of got frozen in the units. So I got frozen over there for another 3 years. Now I'm over there 6 years. And I was ready to get out of the Army and come back home, and I had all these surgeries. And they were going to say, okay, bye, see you. And I ended up having to join the Warrior Transition Team, which I had to be re-enlisted. And guess what? I got sent there for another 3 years. I stayed right there. So I ended up staying in Germany for 10 years. Okay, so you get over there, you come from the U.S., and you go to Germany, and you get what's called culture shock, because things are different. It's not too different, but it's different. Okay, you got to learn a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things. Okay, so I did that, and I lived there for 9 years, a little over 9 years, almost 10 years. Okay, and now I'm coming home to the U.S., and culture shock works the same way. Okay, so I was over there. I loved it over there. Beautiful place. People, it's interesting. You don't think Germans are friendly, but they are very friendly. You just have to get to know them. But I come back, and the first thing I do is I'm in a car, I'm renting a car, and I'm driving, and I get a low tire pressure. So I pull into a gas station. Remember, 10 years has gone by since I went into a gas station. So what did I pull in a gas station? To get air in my tires. What? There's a machine you gotta pay for get air in your tires? Oh my gosh. Okay, get back in the car, drive to the next one, a couple blocks down, drive to the next gas station. Pull in there. This one lets you take a credit card so you can put air in your tires. So I go in to talk to the girl behind the counter, and I said, hey, is there someplace you can get air in your tires? And she points me out to the thing. I said, yeah, but is there someplace that you can get air in your tires without paying? She's like, no. She looked at me like I was still on a different planet, And I said, how long has this been going on? And of course, young girl behind the counter, she's like, it's always been that way. I said, no, you don't pay for air. This is air. I breathe the air. You don't pay for it. And she goes, Anyway, so, by the way, I got to say this, and you guys get this because Wawa's going to sponsor us. Okay? Wawa does have free air. Yay, Wawa! So when they work, yeah. But at least they give it to you for free. Anyway,
so does Lowe's.
So another thing that kind of freaked me out was I went to buy something. I went to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store, I pick up a sandwich, one of the pre-made sandwiches, and I grab some chips and I grab a drink. And I'm going to check out, and I have $5. The sandwich is $3.50. The drink was $1, and the chips was like 50 cents. $4.90 something. Good to go. I get up there, put it in, and the lady says, "That'll be $5.50." What? That's $3.50. That's $1. That's $4.50, and that's $5 in tax. What? Tax? This is food. No, certain foods get taxed, and the same. Not when I left. When I left, you didn't tax any food, but they have tax on food now. So I was like, okay. So I go back up to my car to get my change that I didn't use to fill up my air in the tires. So anyway, so big changes, and the reason why I brought that up was because of the air. And I was watching a TED Talk the other day. You ever watch TED Talks? You know what a TED Talk is, right? Everybody knows what a TED Talk is. So I was watching a TED Talk the other day, and this guy comes on there, and I can't say his name. It's
strange.
Yeah, Jasper. Okay, so he was on there, and I'm stealing from him. Okay, this is his TED Talk, and I'm stealing from him. Maybe not. All right. That's the next song we're going to sing. Okay, so he says that he wants to do an experiment. So I want to do an experiment with you. I'm going to do the same experiment. Okay. So this is congregation participation. Okay. Okay. So you got to do. Everybody's got to participate. Okay. Now you don't. It's not going to be like a Baptist, Southern Baptist, Black Southern Baptist. Nobody's going to say, "Hey, man, preach it." Go on. Yeah. Truth. Nothing like that. You don't have to do that. Okay. And we're not going to Pentecostal, so nobody's going to jump up and start dancing and roll down the aisle or anything like that. You don't have to do anything like that. Okay. So no Pentecostal, no talking in tongues or anything like that. But what we're going to do is I'm going to have you breathe. Okay. Can you breathe? Everybody can breathe. Right? Okay. Let's try it out. Okay. Oh, before you breathe, okay, I have to tell you something. This is also me being an entrepreneur. Okay. So I'm gonna actually sell you something. And what I'm gonna sell you is air. See, it comes back to the free air, right? You really want to go to Wawa now, don't you? Because is it been breathing yet? Don't breathe yet. I haven't let you breathe yet. Okay. So the first time you breathe, it's going to be for free. Okay. So let's go ahead and try it. In and out. See, that's the way entrepreneurs get you, right? The first one's always free. Okay. The second one, this is going to be $5. Okay. We're going to charge you $5 to breathe, right? Because it's my air. I say so, right? So let's try it again. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. All right. I think we got about 5 times 20. That's about $100. That's pretty good. Okay. So we're going to do it one more time. We're going to do it one more time. This time, hey, my business is booming. Let's up the price. Supply and demand, right? So this time I'm going to charge you $100. Okay. So let's go ahead and do it. Ready? All right. My business is going out the roof here. All right. As a matter of fact, I think I just made enough money that I probably don't have to work the rest of the month. So I'm good, right? Hey, you're thinking that's crazy, right? Well, if you don't like it, you can always go out into the bathroom and go ahead and breathe some bathroom air, or you can go home and breathe your air at home. But here, I charge you. That's ridiculous, isn't it? It's kind of crazy. But you know what else is crazy? Paying for water. But someone convinced you that you need to pay for water. There. Oh, you stole it. Is that my water?
Water's free at the plant.
Where's my water go? Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah. It's okay. Okay, so water, right? Water, it's important. Everybody needs it, right? But what happens is you get people that tell you that, oh, it's not real water unless you come. Oh, well, unless you, my hands are wet now. Yeah, child-proof packaging. I used to have to get my kids to open the child-proof packaging for me. So, it's not real water unless you put Gatorade. So that's true water. That's truth right there. True water. Gatorade. It's got everything. It's got electrolytes in it. So if you want water, you have to have Gatorade water. But that isn't the truth. That isn't real water. That's water with Gatorade flavoring. Some people like tea flavor in their water. Some people like coffee flavoring in their water. Some people like beer flavoring in their water. But if someone told you that this is true water, would you believe them? Hopefully you wouldn't. But that's their preference. they prefer to drink it like this. And you don't have to go with someone else's preference. What you need is the real thing, the true H2O, not Gatorade flavor. Gatorade flavor. H2O, water. When we talk about our spirituality and our religion, what is the truth? Jesus says and equates the truth with this living water, pure water. Not something that, as we said in the story, not something that the woman from Samaritans people told her about Jacob, but the true living water, the water that keeps us, the water that draws us close to God and to each other. There's just one thing that people do that adds to the water. And then they try to tell you that you need this water. But what we truly need is the water. And what is the water? The water is something that's in all of us. We need it. We don't need Gatorade. We can live without Gatorade. We can live without, I'll say it, we can live without Coke Cherry Zero. Okay. I would have a hard time, but you can do it. But if you just have water, you can, and guess what? Every one of us need that. And you know what everyone else of us needs? We need food. We need food. We need water. We need shelter. What else? Air, of course. We're getting there. They're going to start selling air. I'm telling you, they're going to start selling air. They're going to say, oh, you know, your air quality is terrible in your city. Here's bottled air.
I already do it. I talk to you.
There you go. What about companionship? Think about that. Companionship. We are made to be companions. All right? Look. What's that? But that's not something that we need to sell. It's a basic thing. We need water, we need food, we need shelter, and we need air, and we need companionship. If you look at Genesis chapter 2, or chapter 1, chapter 2, when God created Adam, and then he went and he tried to find a helper for Adam. Right? Guess what? You need a companion. Life cannot go on without a companion. Just like life cannot go on without water. But you need a companion. Well, first of all, think about it. One person isn't going to make another person. You need two people. Okay? Unless you got some high scientific technology going on. One person, you need another person. Okay? So that's where we get the Adam and Eve creation. Okay? And we move on from there. Right? They have to have an experience together. If you watch the movie, jump ahead, sorry. We need to express ourselves. We have one person, and we come together and we have a companionship. That companionship is necessary. It's not just to make babies. It's a companionship that you join to express yourself with. So you can tell somebody about how you feel. And that is what we were created for. Just like we were created to have water to keep us alive. As we have food to keep us alive, we need companionship to keep us alive. See the movie Castaway? Castaway, Tom Hanks. Love Tom Hanks. Doesn't everybody love Tom Hanks? So Tom Hanks on Castaway, he's flying in the plane, he crashes, he's stranded, desert island, and what happens? Huh?
He finds a coconut.
He finds a coconut, and he finds a way to open it. Anyway, he has to learn to survive. He's all by himself. All the stuff that he's ever had. People think that, oh, I don't need anybody. I can survive by myself. No, you can't. There's so many things that other people do for you that keep you alive and you don't even know. And that's what Tom Hanks learned. He didn't know how to open a coconut first thing. And he doesn't know how to make fire. And he doesn't know. So he's learning all this stuff. This is all the stuff he's learning just to survive. And then he sees one of the pilots of the airplane wash up his sweat. And it makes him realize that he's just surviving. He's not living a life. He has no friends. He has nothing there. It's just him, and he's surviving. And he goes up on the hill. And that's where he tries to unalive himself. Guess what? If you watch the movie when it came out, they cut that scene out. It just refers to it later in the movie. But anyway, he takes a log and he puts a noose around it and he throws the log off of the cliff to make sure that everything's going to work. Because you don't want to do it halfway. So he pushes the log off and the branch that he tied the rope to breaks. And good thing, huh? Because then he would have been laying at the bottom of the thing with a broken leg, and now it'd been even worse. Anyway, so he doesn't unalive himself. And he goes back, and he sees all these boxes, and he starts opening up the package because he was a FedEx employee, and the plane that he was on was a FedEx plane. And so all these FedEx boxes started washing up, and he starts opening them up, and he's seeing them, and he's like seeing all the stuff in them, and that's where he finds the volleyball, and it's Wilson. It's a Wilson volleyball, and then he cuts his hand, and he gets mad, and he grabs it, and he throws the volleyball. Only when he sees the volleyball land, he goes over and he picks it up, and his handprint makes it look like a face on the volleyball. And so what did he find? Companionship. And that companionship takes him back to the boxes, and he finds this one box, and the box has the wings on it. And between the companionship and the box that he doesn't open, these wings, he has hope. Because he has got hope for a real companion. The person that box is going to. And he makes it up in his mind, at that point, he's going to take that box, however long it takes him, back to that person that it was supposed to be. And that's what drives him through the rest of the movie. That need, that hope for companionship. The woman at the well was surprised that Jesus would speak to her in a companion-like way. Why? Because the Samaritans and the Jews do not talk. They don't talk. The Samaritan and the Jews, there was a lot of animosity for hundreds and hundreds of years between the two. Not only that, but she's a woman and he's a rabbi. A rabbi does not talk to women. That's why he says, go get your husband and bring him in. Because that was the custom. But he talks to her like she's a companion. Second, the woman is there at noon. You don't go and get water at noon. Water at noon means that you're probably an outcast. And then as the conversation goes on, you can kind of see why she's an outcast. She's been married several times before, and she's living with a man right now that's not her husband. So she doesn't want to go to the well to get the water in the morning when it's cool and everybody's there and everybody's gossiping. And they see her and then they gossip about her and they talk about her and point at her. So she goes at noon when nobody's there. But Jesus is there. And he talks to her like she was a normal companion. Can you give me some water? Why are you talking to me this way? Don't Yes, I do know you. I know you better than you know yourself. And she's stunned. And she's like, what are you talking about? And then he starts talking to her about this metaphysical water that he's going to give her. What do you think that metaphysical water was?
Love.
But love. What does love have to have? You have a person here, you got love, and what is that? Companionship. The water that Jesus is talking about, the living water, is a companionship. A living companionship. You will never thirst. Now, we talked about the bread of life last time, but think about this. If you have a companion, and the companion loves you like we are supposed to love, who will go thirsty? No one. Because we will give that glass of water. We will share what we have so that you have as well. And that's what true companionship is about. That's what inclusion is about. That's what Jesus' living water is all about. It's about companionship. It's about love. It's about sharing. So no one goes thirsty. So no one goes hungry. When I was a teenager, about 16 or 17, I walked everywhere. My town wasn't very big, maybe 70 miles. And I walked from one end to the other all the time. My friend lived in a little community that was a little bit away, probably about 10 miles away. And I used to run to his house. I didn't have a car. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 18. So I walked everywhere. One day I'm walking through town, and I go past this older house, and there's this older lady. She's sitting on the porch, and she's sitting there, and she looks down at me, and she says, "Hey, hey," and I say hi to her, and we pleasantries, nice weather. Yes, man, I'm good enough to walk. And she goes, "Could you do me a favor?" And I said, "Sure, no problem." She's older. She's probably about 70s. I gotta be careful. 80s, Anyway, and I'm looking up at, there's probably about two flights of stairs to get to her porch because it's one of the older houses at the top. And I said, "Yeah, no problem." And she goes, "Could you run over and get me some ice cream?" And there was a local, corner store there. And so I said, "No problem," and went over to the little mom and pop corner store, and I bought her some ice cream. Well, she gave me money, and I come back and I give her the ice cream, and I give her her change back, and she produces 2 spoons. And I would love to tell you that I sat there and I ate ice cream with her and talked to her. But I was young and I didn't catch it. She didn't want ice cream. She just wanted a little bit of companionship. And I dropped the ball there. You think about that. That's what we all really need in our lives, is companionship. Knowing that someone is going to take care of you when you can't take care of yourself. When you're down, to lift you up. That's the living water that Jesus is. That's the living water